Hello students, welcome to video classes. So in the last class we had discussed about the fringe width derivation. So yesterday I told you that the fringe width derivation is very important for 5 marks. All of you must practice that derivation. And there is a lot of formulas we are going to be derived in that one. And the formulas are very important to solve the problems even for competitive part also. So today I am going to explain the few formulas which are going to be discussed in the last class. I am going to revise them. After that, we are going to discuss the few concepts which are very important for the competitive part. Okay. So in the last class, we have discussed the fringe width. When I go to refer to the fringe width, it is essential to remember the diagram part. If you can remember the diagram part, then it will becomes very easy to write down the formulas and to understand the problem also. Because if you want to solve the problem, it is very necessary to understand the problem. Okay, when you are going to understand the problem, if you are going to keep that diagram in your mind, then it becomes very easy to understand the problem and it will be very easy to solve it also. Okay, so let's see that in the diagram part we are going to refer. There will be the two slits will be there. Okay, these are the two slits I am going to use in here. One is S1 and another one is S2. Okay, this is S1 and this is S2. The small d represents the distance between the two slits. And we are just going to arrange a screen exactly at a distance of capital D. Okay, I am going to arrange the screen at a distance of capital D. The central point you are going to be taking, which is going to be represents the point O, and from where you are going to take, you are going to take exactly from the middle point of the two slits. Okay, that is the point O. You are going to locate a point P on the screen, which is at a distance of Yn. Yn represents the distance of the nth band, maybe the nth bright band or the nth dark band. That will be decided by the path difference. Okay, this is the Yn. Now what happened? The light coming from the S1 is going to reach the point P, and the light coming from the S2 is also going to reach the point P. Okay, so the two light waves are going to be superimposed on here, and you are going to get the bright band or the dark band. To find out the path difference, you need to draw a perpendicular line. Okay, this is a perpendicular line you are going to draw here. How much angle will be there here? 90 degrees angle will be there, and this will represent the path difference that can be represented by delta x. Okay, delta x represents the path difference. And here this is the angle theta. Okay, there is the angle theta. Next, one more straight line you are going to take from the point, central point of the slits to the point P. Okay, you can take the dotted lines, it is better. Take the dotted lines here. Okay, this is a line, and whatever this angle is there, this angle is also equals to theta. And here this theta represents the angular width of the nth band. Okay, here theta represents the angular width of the nth band, or it is written as theta x. Okay, so this is the diagram part you have to remember it. And now we are going to write down the formulas here. First we can write down the formulas or conditions here. First I am going to write down the path difference condition for bright band and the path difference conditions for dark band. For the path difference condition for bright band, delta x is equals to n lambda. The path difference condition is delta x is equals to n lambda. And where the n values will start from? N values will start from 0, 1, 2 and so on. Okay, 0, 1, 2 and so on. This is the path difference for bright band. Next one is the path difference for dark band. The path difference for dark band, delta x is equals to 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2. Right. Here one thing I want to confirm with that, in the case of dark band, there are the two formulas are there, or the two conditions are there. In some textbooks, the condition will be taken as 2n plus 1 by into lambda by 2. Or in some textbooks, the condition will be taken as 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2. So don't be confused by using these two conditions itself. So right now I am going to explain you very clearly on which condition, which formula, which condition we are going to take in, under which cases. So first, 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2. Whenever you are going to use this condition, then one band less you have to take, because in this condition where the n values will start from, n values will start from 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. Okay, n values will start from 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. But for dark band, is it 0 is there? No. Only what is there? 1 is there. So that's why whenever you are going to use this condition, one band less you have to take. For example, in the problem is saying that the second dark band, and you are taking this condition. Okay, in the problem they are saying second dark band and you are taking this condition. Then if they are saying second dark band, what is the n value you have to take? You have to take 1. One band less you have to take. Okay, n is equals to 1 you can substitute, then what happened? 2 into 1 plus 1. 3 lambda by 2 will be takes place. In other condition, what is the other condition will be R? The dark band condition delta x is equals to 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2. Okay, delta x is equals to 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2. When you are going to use this condition, where the n values will start from? N values will start from 1. Okay, n is equals to starts from 1, 2, 3 and so on. Okay, if you are taking this condition and in the problem if saying second dark band, then directly you can take the second dark band. Because if you are taking n is equals to 2, 2 into 2, 4, 4 minus 1, 3 lambda by 2. That means again you are going to get the same one. But remember, it is very important, don't be confused between the two formulas. When you are going to use this condition, 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2, one band less you have to take. For the bright band, there is no confusion. Directly only one condition is there. But the confusion will be there only in the dark band condition only. Okay, when you are going to use this condition, take one band less. If you are going to take the condition 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2, then directly you can take the given band you have to consider itself. Okay, so this is the very important part you have to remember in this condition while you are going to solve the problems. Okay, either you can use 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2 or 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2. Okay, so this is the bright band and the dark band conditions for the path difference for the bright band and the dark band conditions. And now we are going to discuss about the distance of the nth band. Okay, we are going to find out the distance of the nth band. The distance of the nth band yn is equals to delta x into capital D by small d. Okay, this is the distance of nth band. In this formula, we don't know whether it is a bright band or the dark band. That's why we are going to be calling it as a distance of the nth band. Yn is equals to delta x into capital D by small d. Now we have to write down the condition for the distance of the nth bright band. If I write down the distance of the nth bright band, then what you can write? Yn is equals to the distance of the nth bright band. At the place of delta x, what you can write? N lambda. So n lambda into capital D by small d. This is the distance of the nth bright band. Okay, try to remember the formulas. The formulas are very important. All are the formulas are important for to solve the problems for competitive also. Okay, the distance of nth bright band yn is equals to n lambda into capital D by small d. Now, the distance of nth dark band. The distance of nth dark band yn is equals to, at the place of delta x, what you write? Dark band condition. Dark band condition 2 are there. Okay, either one you can write or the second one you can write. Either you can write 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2 or 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2. So you can written as 2n plus 1 into lambda into capital D by small d. Okay, and it will be 2. 2d will be there. This is the distance of the nth dark band condition. Okay, so these two formulas are also very important to solve the problems. And I told you already what is the condition. If you are going to use this one, if they are saying third dark band, how much you have to take? N is equals to 2. If they are saying the seventh dark band, you are using this condition, and in the problem they are saying that the seventh dark band, then what is the n value you have to take? 6. Okay, like that you are going to use this one. Okay, so these are the formulas. After that we are discussed about the fringe width. We are going to refer to the fringe width. How can I define it? The distance between two successive bright bands or the two successive dark bands will be called as the fringe width. That fringe width can be represented by beta. Yesterday I told you that the fringe width can be derived by using the bright band also you can use, or you can use the dark band also. Okay, by using the bright band or using the dark band also you can define the, or you can derive the fringe width. You are going to get the same answer because the fringe width will remain same. Okay, so if you go to refer to these conditions, it will be very easy to find out by using the bright band only. That's why yesterday we have taken the bright band condition only to derive the fringe width equation. Okay, so yn is equals to, and this is the distances. Okay. Now we are going to write down the fringe width formula. We are going to write down the fringe width formula. Fringe width is equals to, so this distance you can written as here capital D. Now the fringe width can be represented by beta. Okay, the formula is very important. Beta is equals to, what is the formula? Lambda into capital D by small d. Okay, this is the fringe width formula. Beta is equals to lambda into capital D by small d. Lambda is the wavelength, capital D distance of the screen, small d distance between the slits. So how can you increase the fringe width in the case of Young's double slit experiment? 3 ways are there. First one, you can increase the wavelength. Second one, you can increase the distance of the screen. Third one, you can decrease the distance between the slits. In these three ways, you can increase the fringe width will be increased. Okay, beta is equals lambda into capital D by small d. After that, one more important thing we have to discuss, that is the angular width. Okay, the angular width we have to find out. The angular width means theta can represent the angular width. Angular width means this path we are going to be taking. Okay, from this point to this point, up to this band, how much, okay, whatever the band is producing here, this band, how much angle is making at the center of the slits. Okay, that is called the angular width of the nth band. So, if I find out the angular width of nth band, theta is equals to, the formula is delta x by d. Theta is equals to delta x by d. Okay, from where we are going to derive this equation? From this triangle. Okay, from the triangle S1, S2, okay, you can write down this, Q will be there, whatever the point you are taking, S1, S2, Q. If I write sin theta is equals to, what's the one? Opposite by hypotenuse. Opposite is delta x, it is small d. So, theta is equals to delta x by d. You can written as theta n, you can write. Okay, what is theta n represents here? The angular width of nth band. We don't know whether it is the bright or dark because we are directly taken the path difference only we are taking. And by using this path difference, directly you can write down what is the angular width of the nth bright band and what is the angular width of the nth dark band. Can you write down the formulas? Let us see what is going to be happens here. So first I am going to write down the angular width of nth bright band. Angular width of nth bright band. Theta n is equals to, bright band means path difference should be n lambda. So it is n lambda by small d. This is the angular width of the nth bright band. If I write down the condition for angular width of nth dark band, angular width of nth dark band, theta n is equals to, at the place of delta x, what you have tried? You have tried the path difference condition. So what happens, it becomes 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2 into d. That means this equation clearly explains that the angular width does not depend on the distance of the screen. Okay, angular width does not depend on the distance of the screen, because if we are locating the point P at here, then what happens? Both are going to be intersecting at this point. So if you are going to increase the screen also, what happened? It is going to be, this distance does not changes. This angle does not changes. You are increasing the screen or you are decreasing the screen, but this elevation does not changes. If this elevation does not changes, what does that mean? Theta is also not going to be changes. That's why that theta does not depend on capital T, but the fringe width will be depends. Okay, so these are the formulas you need to remember. Okay, what is theta n? Angular width of nth band. This one, angular width of nth bright band, and this one, angular width of nth dark band. And now it is the time to find out what is the angular fringe width. This is also very important formula you have to remember. Angular fringe width. This is the linear fringe width. Linear fringe width means linear distance. Angular fringe width means radial. Okay. So angular fringe width, same definition you have to do. Okay. The difference between the two successive angular widths is nothing but the angular fringe width. Say again, you can use the theta n, or you can use the bright band condition, or you can use the dark band condition. Then what is the formula I am going to have? The angular fringe width theta is equals to lambda by d. This is the very important formula. Okay, theta is equals to lambda by d. Lambda represents wavelength and d represents distance between the slits. That means the angular fringe width depends only on two physical quantities. One is the wavelength of the light which are used in the experiment, and second one is the distance between the slits. Okay. So how could you increase the angular fringe width? If you want to increase the angular fringe width, the two ways are there. One, you can increase the wavelength. Second one, decrease the distance between the slits. Then the angular fringe width is going to be increases. So don't be confused between these formulas itself. Theta n, and this is theta. Theta n represents angular width. Theta represents angular fringe width. One fringe. Width of the one fringe it will be represents. Okay. So these are the formulas are there which are very important to solve the problems. So you need to remember them. Okay. I hope all of you remember these formulas, and don't be confused between the dark band conditions. Okay, once again I am explaining you. If I want to use this formula or this condition, if I want to use delta x is equals to 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2, then what I have to take? One band less you have to take. If I want to use this condition, delta x is equals to 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2, the same band you have to use. Okay, and while you are going to refer to the different books, don't be confused by seeing the conditions. In some textbooks, the dark band condition will be used 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2. In some textbooks, it can be used as 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2. Okay, right. So these are the formulas which are very important. You need to remember to solve the problems, because in the next class we are going to solve the problems. Okay. So before going for the problems, I told you that today we are going to discuss the two concepts which are very important for the competitive part. Let us discuss about them. Right. So the first concept, we are going to refer to the first concept. Let us say that this is the Young's double slit experiment. Okay, before that class we have discussed that the Young's double slit experiment. In the Young's double slit experiment, what happened? One source will be there. In front of the source, you are going to arrange one slit. In front of that one slit, again you are going to arrange the two slits. The two slits will be act as a two coherent light sources. Then the two light waves are superimposed, and on the screen you are going to get the spectrum which will contain the bright bands and the dark bands. That is the concept will be there. And this is also the Young's double slit experiment. In case if this Young's double slit experiment is completely immersed inside a liquid which the refractive index is mu. Okay, the refractive index can be represented by mu. That means this whole apparatus is completely immersed in a liquid which the refractive index is mu. Then what happened to the fringe width? Then the formula is the fringe width beta dash is equals to beta by mu. Beta dash is equals to beta by mu. This is the formula to find out the fringe width when the apparatus is immersed inside the liquid. By seeing the formula, what you understand? When the apparatus is immersed inside the liquid, is the fringe width is increasing or decreasing? Decreasing, definitely, because in the denominator what is there? Mu. And what is this mu represents? Mu represents the refractive index of the liquid in which the apparatus is going to be immersed. Okay. So beta dash is equals to beta by mu. Refer to the terms. Beta dash fringe width inside the liquid, beta fringe width in A, mu refractive index of the liquid. If the fringe width is, this is the fringe width, then what happens to the angular fringe width? Definitely, if the fringe width decreases, angular fringe width is also going to be decreases. That means the angular fringe width can be represented by theta dash is equals to theta by mu. So these both the formulas are also very important. You have to remember. Okay, beta dash is equals to beta by mu. And what is beta is equals, you can write capital lambda into capital D by small d. Then what is this formula can be written as? This formula can be written as that is equals to lambda into capital D, okay, into lambda into capital D by small d into mu. Like that we can write. Okay, at the place of beta, what you can write? Lambda into capital D by small d into mu. And theta dash is equals to theta by mu. How can you write? Theta is equals to angular fringe width lambda by d. Lambda by d means what happened? Lambda by d into mu. Like that we can write on the formulas. But we can write in these conditions itself, which is very important for both PU and for competitive part also. If all the Young's modulus or the Young's experiment, Young's double slit experiment is immersed inside the liquid, then the fringe width and the angular fringe width both are going to be decreases, and this is the formula. Beta dash is equals to beta by mu and theta dash is equals to theta by mu. Okay, these are the very important conditions you need to remember. And our next concept is also very important, that is the shift in the central bright fringe. Okay, in Young's double slit experiment, the shift in the central bright fringe. Okay, to understand this, let us draw a diagram here. I am going to take the two slits according to the Young's double slit experiment. Okay, this is S1 and this is S2. This is the distance between the two slits, and here the screen is going to be arranged, and let us say that this is the center point. Okay, what you can call it as O. Okay, center point O. Now, obviously in the Young's double slit experiment, the central band is always bright band. What is the reason? The reason is the two light waves are going to be traveling same distance to reach the point O. So the path difference will be 0. Whenever the path difference is 0, definitely what happens? We are going to get the bright band. Always a crest will be interact with the crest and the trough will be interact with the trough, and you are going to get the bright band. So what is going to be happens here? The light coming from the S1 is going to reach the point O, and the light coming from the S2 is also going to reach the point O. Okay, both are going to be reach the point O, and you are going to get the bright band you are going to be obtained here. Now what you are going to do is, you are going to introduce a thin transparent glass plate in one path of the light source. Okay, in the path of one of the light source, you are going to introduce a thin transparent glass plate. So let's say that here I am going to use a thin transparent glass plate. Okay, this is a thin transparent glass plate I am going to be using here. Then what happens here? While it is traveling in this path, I am going to be introducing a thin glass plate, and here the central point is there. Now, if this glass plate is not there, what happens? The central band will be always bright band, and the central band will be produced at the central only. But whenever I am going to use this glass plate, is the central band will be produced at the same place? No. What is the reason? The reason is, whenever this light wave enters into the transparent sheet and passes through it, then what happens? Refraction will take place. Refraction will take place, and it is going to be refracts in this direction. It will be refracts in this direction. Okay, it is coming here and refracts and travels in this direction. That means this central point, due to the reason of this glass plate, instead of going to reach the point O, it is going to reach the point O dash. Then what happened? The light wave coming from the S2 is also going to reach the point O dash. Okay, the light coming from the S2 is also going to reach the point O dash. Okay, it is also going to reach the point O dash. Now, where the central band will produce? Is the central band will be produced at the point O? No, the central band will not produce at the point O. The central band will be produced at O dash. Why the central band is produced at the O dash? Because due to the reason of introduction of this glass plate, what happened? The S1 light source is refracted and is going to be interacted at point O dash. That's why S2 is also going to reach at this point. Because if you want to produce the interference, definitely the two light waves must be interact. If one wave is going to be reaching that point, you are not going to get the interference. Definitely other wave is also going to reach that point and it should be interact with that. Then only what happens, you are going to get the interference. That's why if this ray of light is going to reach the point O dash, definitely S2 is also going to reach at this point. And here what is going to be happens here? The central bright band is shifting. Okay, the central bright band is shifting. How much it is shifting? It can be represented by S. Okay, this concept is very important, you have to remember. Okay. So, due to the reason of introduction of a thin glass plate, transparent glass plate, the central bright band is going to be shifted from O to O dash, which can be represented by S. Now, refer to the diagram and tell me that. Is at point to O dash, is the path difference will be 0? Definitely not. Why the path difference will not be 0? Because to reach point O dash, S1 is traveling different distance and S2 is also traveling different distance. So that's why what happened, there will be some path difference will be takes place. Whenever the path difference will be changes, then it is not sure that you are going to get the bright band or the dark band. This is also the next important point you have to remember. Okay, two things are going to be happens here. Okay, when you are going to introduce a glass plate in one direction of path of the light sources, the two things will be happens. First thing, the central bright band will be shifts. The second thing, whatever the central bright band will be shifted, that will not be bright band. Okay, maybe that is bright band or dark band. Who will decide that bright band or the dark band? The path difference produced at here will decide that whether you are going to get the bright band or the dark band. So these are the two conditions you need to remember in the case of introduction of a thin glass plate. Okay. Now, so let us say that the refractive index of this thin glass plate can be represented by mu. Okay, the refractive index of this thin transparent glass plate is mu, and the thickness of the glass plate is T. Okay, thickness of the glass plate is T, and the refractive index is mu. Now, how can we find out the path difference? So, to find out the path difference, there is a direct formula is there. Due to the reason of introduction of this glass plate, the path difference produced is delta x is equals to mu minus 1 into t. This is the condition you have to remember. Whenever a thin transparent glass plate will be introduced, how much path difference will produce is mu minus 1 into t. Okay, this formula is also very important one you have to remember. What is mu represents here? Refractive index of the thin glass plate, and t represents thickness of the glass plate, and this must be transparent glass plate should be there. Okay, and always remember in which ray of light you are going to be introduced the thin glass plate, in that direction the shift will be produced. For example, if this transparent glass plate is introduced in the direction of S2O, then what happens? The fringe shift will be in which direction? Downward direction will be takes place. Okay, so total delta x is equals to mu minus 1 into t. That is the condition you are going to be taking. Next, if I want to find out the bright band, okay, if I want to obtain the bright band at here, okay, if I want to obtain a bright band at the O dash, then what is the condition should be? This mu minus 1 into t must be equals to n lambda. That means if mu minus 1 into t is equals to n lambda, okay, if this path difference is equals to n lambda, then definitely what happens? You are going to get the bright band. Okay, you are going to get the bright band at which point? At point O dash. If you are going to obtain the dark band, then what is the condition will be? The condition will be mu minus 1 into t is equals to 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2. Okay, if this condition is satisfied, then what you are going to have? You are going to have the dark band at the point O dash. So these are the conditions you need to remember to obtain the bright band or the dark band at the point O dash due to the introduction of a thin transparent glass plate. Okay, condition for bright band and condition for dark band. And next formula we are going to discuss that how much shift is going to be produces. Okay, what you are going to find out? How much shift is going to be produces. If you want to find out how much shift is going to be produces, that means you have to find out this S. So the shift in the central bright fringe, S is equals to, the formula is very important, S is equals to capital D by small d into mu minus 1 into t. Okay, this is the formula to find out the shift in the central fringe due to the reason of the introduction of a thin transparent glass plate. Okay, S is equals to capital D by small d into mu minus 1 into t. What are the terms represents here? Capital D, distance of the screen, small d, distance between the slits, mu, refractive index of the glass plate, and t, thickness of the glass plate. So this is the formula. By using this formula, you can easily calculate that how much distance or how much shift is produced in the central bright fringe. And that bright fringe is whether the bright band or the dark band, that can be decided by these conditions. Okay. Now, this fringe shift can be written in the terms of fringe widths also, because we know the formula. The formula of fringe width beta is equals to, what is the formula? Capital D, lambda into capital D by small d. Okay, beta is equals to lambda into capital D by small d. If I write down capital D by small d is equals to, capital D by small d is equals to, then what happens? Lambda is going to denominator. Then it can be written as beta by lambda. You must remember this derivation part also. Okay, you can call it as the equation number 1, and this is the equation number 2. Okay, it is the equation number 1 and this is the equation number 2. From where we are deriving this? From the fringe width condition. Okay, capital D by small d is equals to beta by lambda. That means capital D by small d, at the place of capital D by small d, directly what you can write? Beta by lambda you can write. Then what happens to the formula here? The fringe shift S is equals to, at the place of capital D by small d, what you can write? Beta by lambda into mu minus 1 into t. This is the another formula. Other, you can use this formula or you can use this formula. S is equals to beta by lambda into mu minus 1 into t. Sometimes in the problems what happen, he will directly says to you. Okay, the problem will directly gives you that due to the reason of the introduction of a glass plate, the central fringe is shifted by the two bright fringes. Okay, the central fringe is shifted by two fringes. Okay, if the central fringe is shifted by two fringes, what does that mean? S is given two fringes. Two fringes means what you can write? 2 beta. S is equals to what you can write? 2 beta. That means at the place of S you can write 2 beta, that is equals beta by lambda mu minus 1 into t. So depending on the problem, whatever the values are given to you, based on that you need to select the conditions itself. Okay. So in case if we say that due to the reason of introduction of a thin transparent glass plate, the central bright fringe is shifted to 3 fringes. Central bright fringe is shifted to 3 fringes. Then what is S is equals to, you have to take S is equals to, you have to take 3 beta. Then you can use this formula, beta will cancel, you can substitute the lambda and mu and t values, you will get the shift in the producers itself. Okay, this concept is very, very important, all of you must remember. So what are the main changes will be there? When you are going to use the thin transparent glass plate, the 2 things will happen. First one, the central bright fringe will be shifts. Second one, whatever the central fringe is shifted, it will not be bright. Maybe it is bright band or the dark band. Who will decide that whether it is the bright band or the dark band? That will be decided by the path difference mu minus 1 into t. If this mu minus 1 into t is equals to n lambda, at point O dash you are going to get the bright band. If the path difference mu minus 1 into t is equals to 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2, then you are going to get the dark band at the central fringe will be. Okay, these are the concepts you need to remember. So today we have discussed the 2 concepts which are very important for competitive. First one, if the Young's operator, Young's double slit experiment is immersed inside the liquid of refractive index mu, then beta dash is equals to beta by mu. The fringe width will be decreases. Angular fringe width also you have to remember. After that, the introduction of a thin transparent glass plate. Okay. So that's all for today. See you in the next class with the problems. Thank you.